everybody. Welcome to Spilling the EsTea podcast. It's been a while since we've had one, and I am so excited to welcome Deja. You've been here for a little over 3 years with a little gap in between. And I don't know if you know, but you are actually one of our top performers at Humblebee.
Really? No, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
You
That's
are,
so
yeah.
exciting.
Your numbers are really high, and it's really cool to see that because I trained you. In the beginning, I remember us being at, one of the old rooms in Tropicana
Yes.
and training you and seeing you, and it's always hard for someone to start out.
Yes.
I think but even for me, when I started, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, it was just a mess, and I was about to give up at one point, but I was persevered, and it's fun to see how well, when you left and came back, it was just such a different, Deja, who was super confident, and your skills were just so good.
Oh, it's been a journey for sure. I definitely feel like when I first started, I was definitely like a little anxious just being in the industry and being like brand new. And there were like a lot of moments where I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm confident. And then you get in the room, kind of like we were having a conversation about before where like you think you know everything and then you get in the room and things are completely different. There's all these little obstacles and things like that that you might not initially be expecting, and every client is so different. So I feel like over time, just like getting to like work with different clients and different personalities and different hair textures and different parts of the body, it's really helped me become more comfortable. But it really is trial and error and just being confident and really appreciating the journey behind learning how to sugar and just to be an esthetician in general.
Yeah, I feel like in this industry, it really I love seeing, people come who are on the more shyer, reserved side, and then all of a sudden, their personalities just
Hmm.
bloom, and you just see, like you really see the confidence from, like, the first time, you meet like, when I met you to now, like, your confidence is just so there, and it's really inspiring to see, like, the growth that you have had.
You know, I'm so glad. And I always thought, like, in the beginning, when I was going through those like stressful times where I'd be like messing up with clients and maybe not giving them the best service that they deserve, is really easy for me to get in my head and be like, no, I'm not good at this. I'm never gonna be good at this. Ah, I can't do it. But this job has really helped me with my confidence for sure, and just with trusting myself and building a lot of patience, because it's definitely not something that you can learn overnight.
Oh, definitely. I know I always sometimes think I wish I could go back to the first clients that I've ever, like, touched and, sugared and just tell them, "Please come back, give me another
Yes.
try." I always felt like, man, I think of some
Mhm.
I'm like, "Man, that was a rough one." And now if they were to come to me, it would just been like, "Okay, you're out in, like, 15 minutes," instead of, like, being that long period of time
Yes.
with them.
And I've even had some clients that I have seen in the very beginning. My last client actually, she was one of my very first clients, and she remembers me from when I first started to just now. And like she's even mentioned like my progress. So it's really nice when you get to hear that kind of feedback from clients who've been coming here for a really long time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Right? I never thought of that, right? Having people you haven't seen in a while tell you
Yeah.
that your growth is like, "Wow, you're so good."
Yeah, because it's so easy to just like think that you're never gonna get it. But I feel like if it weren't for the team that I have supporting me, it wouldn't be the same, because it's really hard when you go into a new job and you don't feel supported. And everybody here has been so supportive, and that's helped immensely.
Yeah, you're always, something I love most about you is that you're super creative, and you do tons of things. You do photography, you were doing nails, you were doing facials for a while, a couple years ago at that salon you worked at. So I think it's so cool. And do you bring some of that creativity into the treatment room?
I think so. I've had a lot of clients, like just from here, that I've seen other worker bees or have been to other establishments, who say things like, oh, everybody does things a little bit differently there. And I think all of the things that I've done, taking pictures, doing this, doing facials, all of that has put me in so many different environments to where I feel like I can curate my experience with my clients a little bit more because I've seen so many different people and worked with so many different personalities.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just super inspiring because I see some of like the photography that you've done, and it's just I feel like it's kind of cool because you kind of have that outlet outside of the room as well that kind
Yes.
of like mixes everything up.
Mhm.
Your life isn't just like work, work, work.
Yes. And I've got to bond with some of my clients about some of these other things too. A couple years ago, I had a client who booked me for a photo shoot for a business that she had. So that was really nice. That was something that I never would have thought have came from doing this job, but I really appreciated that. And she trusted me enough here after we built a relationship here to trust me to do something else for her. So I thought that was really amazing.
Wow, that really is amazing. That's so cool, right? Especially when it's someone's business and this little baby
Mhm.
from the start, and they're like,
Yes.
"On you." That's so
Yeah,
awesome. It must felt so special.
I did, and it made me feel like, "Okay, like, we've obviously built up a really good relationship for you to be able to entrust me doing something like this, not only doing a service like this on you, but with your business too." So that means a lot to me.
That is so awesome. That's so cool, like, the things that come out of the treatment room, like, it's
Yes.
friendships, it's other working, like, the photography thing that you did for her, it's just so cool how it's more than just sugaring and doing what you do in the treatment room.
Yeah, you meet so many amazing people in the room.
So, when you first entered the beauty industry, what made you decide, like, this is what you wanted to do, to be in this industry?
So I had a friend who wanted to become an esthetician before I even considered it. And we've both always been interested in helping people, skincare, just beauty in general. So she suggested the idea of us going to esthetician school at the same time. That was in 2019, like towards the end. So then COVID happened and things got like a little bit crazy. She wasn't really interested in it anymore, but I was thinking about it. So I want to say maybe June 2020. That's when I decided to enroll into school. And I didn't start till October 2020. So I had to wait a little while. But once I got into the industry, then in school actually, I started to realize all of the things that you can do with your license facials, waxing, lash lifts, so many different things. And it was so fun to learn everything. Waxing was actually the one thing that I was kind of not so interested in. So it's really became a full circle moment. And I think it was because I was only familiar with waxing, but when I learned about sugaring, it changed the game.
Right. I remember, when we interviewed you, you, you worked at Whole Foods, and
Mhm,
our girls from Summerlin would go into, um, Whole Foods, and you would see their
mhm.
apron,
Yeah,
and then
I
when
think
you
it was Ashley that I
Yeah,
saw
Ashley.
initially.
Yeah, and I think it's just so cool that you just saw, like, the apron and, like,
Mhm.
what made you apply to Humblebee?
So I remembered the name Humblebee, and I was searching for jobs maybe for I'd say like about a month before Humblebee, before I got my job here. And I don't even think Humblebee was hiring at that time, so I didn't hear back for, like, a month or so, and initially, I saw all the services we do, facials, lash lifting, tinting, tanning, and sugaring, of course, so I was really interested in getting to learn a little bit more about sugaring. I thought it would open up my interest to facial or excuse me, hair removal a little bit more, and then when I got to talk to you and Olivier during the interview, I think that sold the deal for me, and I knew that this would be a good company to work
Yeah.
for.
Did it take a while for you to find something?
I not too long well, after school ended, I was looking for a job every single day. I was on it. It would be the first thing I would do is I was pretty much applying for not almost everything, but I was applying for a lot of jobs around that time. And I was really happy when this one came around because I just wasn't really finding anything that was aligning with me at that time. It was also the same time that I got my other job at the facial salon. They offered me my position maybe a day or 2. before I got the offer from Bumblebee, so it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, because you were working both of us
Yeah.
the whole, time you were with us for a while, right?
Yeah, I was there, for about almost a good 2 years before we closed down.
Yeah, I know, it's so sad to hear. I hate when businesses have to close
But
down,
I
and
was happy that it gave me, more time to be able to be here and put more energy into that, and I think that really helped me hone in on my sugaring skills too and just become a better esthetician.
yeah, and you really built up your clientele base too, like, you really were the slow and steady wins the race and just going with the process, because it really is a process, and I think people think like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna be super
Mhm,
busy right away," and that's really never the case. I mean, even with me when I first
mhm.
started, like, I was happy that I saw one person, you know?
Yeah,
And now, like, I have some days where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's so many people, what am I gonna do?" type of feeling sometimes, but I'm like, I'm so grateful now, after, like, having been dead for so long, like, in the beginning years. And then it's fun to see you guys too, like, have, like, no one, and I'm like, "Just trust the process." I feel like all
yes.
the new girls that come in, I'm just keep saying, "Trust the process, trust it, it's just you're gonna get there in 6 months.
Mhm.
Just do the things that we're telling you to do, and you'll get there."
Yeah, and you don't always think about that in the moment because you just wanna, like, get started and be busy right away, but I think that is good to actually sometimes ease into it without it being super busy, booked and backed when you first start, because that can be a little bit overwhelming too, where I feel like you just need to focus more on learning the skill than how many clients you're taking in the very beginning, because it will get busier, and then there will be days where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm back to back. I don't even have a second to go to the bathroom." So, I appreciate those days where it's slow and where it's really busy.
Definitely. Yeah, I love seeing your guys' schedules when they're, like, just stacked back to back. I'm like or when they're just all Brazilians, I'm like, "Oh, that's a
Mhm.
good day."
Yes, it's easy, that's it. You just have
Yeah.
to one client comes in, the next comes in, and then it's easy, your day's over before you even know it.
Yeah, it flies by. Okay, well, tell me what advice would you give someone, like, fresh out of school coming into the industry? Like, what would you tell them?
Kind of going back to what we were saying about being patient, I really think that is the biggest thing, and just not beating yourself up about situations where you're struggling a little bit or you're getting stuck, or maybe you didn't have like the best interaction with a client. And all of our clients here are really amazing. So I feel like that's far few in between, but definitely just patience and practice and just getting better, getting those clients in, and just knowing that it is a little bit rough at first. And even now, I've been doing this for a little over 3 years, and I still feel like I have moments where I get stuck with clients. So it's going to happen. It's just a part of it. And definitely to lean in on your support system if you have one where you work, because I'm grateful. I don't know if I would have been able to continue doing this if it wasn't for your extra help and just everybody that I had at that time.
Yeah,
Mm,
I feel like, having a team behind you is definitely so important. Like, I even for me, like, having that our management team behind us, like, oh my and just
yes.
even for me, like, I'll ask them random questions, and they'll, like, jump in so fast.
Mhm,
I know. My goal was always to, be support for you guys any way we can, for you guys to succeed. So I'm
mhm.
glad, like, we were that f well, I'm glad we're that for you because
And
that's
that's
really what we want for you.
definitely, and you would need that, especially I feel like those first few months when you're becoming an esthetician and, like, really learning your skills, because it can be a deterrent when in the beginning if you're not doing as well as you want to and you have people around you that aren't really supporting you. And I've had friends leave the industry just because they didn't really like where they were at. I had one friend who worked at a med spa, and it tainted her whole
Oh,
idea of being an esthetician, so I'm really glad I found Humblebee,
oh,
and I
well
feel so supported here.
well, I'm so happy to have you. When we were deciding, like, who should be first, I was like, "Oh, we should have Deja." Like, I
Aw,
thought you would be a perfect person to start us out because your journey has been really cool to see because you could tell, like, by your books how much you care about your clients and just even now that you're the supervisor of that location, like, just you, like, being there for the girls as well, you definitely have that humble spirit.
It's such a full circle experience. If I would have told myself when I was maybe 2 weeks or a month in to being here that I would end up supervising this location and growing my books as much as I have, I would not have believed it. So I'm so happy that things have fallen into place the way they have.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Well, Deja, thank you so much for being on Spilling the ST
Thank
podcast.
you for having me.
I loved hearing your story, and I'm sure so many people love like your story as well, and get some tips and really learn from what you were saying. And I'm so happy you're part of our Humblebee journey.
Thank you. I'm excited to continue to be here and just see how much we grow because I know the future, it's gonna be so bright for us. We've already expanded so much just within the past 3.5 years that I've been here, so it's been amazing to see.
Yeah, we really have like it's really interesting to see because we've changed so much, like the way we do things. And me and Olivia were like, okay, I think things are kind of like gelling together. Like we have
Yeah.
our systems that where everyone I feel feels heard. And yeah, well, yeah, thank you so much for those kind words and everything.
Yes. Thank you for having me.